I'm very sure that you heard that Dangote Refinery announced a reduction in petrol price. Well, the refinery said that this is a strategic adjustment to, as a direct response to the positive outlook within the global energy and the gas market. So this is what Dangote says in the last 24 hours or so. It says that they will be selling petrol to retailers, slashing the price from about 950 naira per litre, slashing it to 890 naira per litre. Anthony Shejina, who is the group Dangote's chief branding and communication officer, announced this in a statement on Saturday, where he says Dangote Refinery has reduced the ex-depot price of petrol and motor spirit, commonly known as petrol, from 950 naira to 890, effective from Saturday, 1st February 2025. But in all of these is also, as Dangote is giving this reduction, which of course will impact on the price of the product and how that affects transportation and the price of commodities. The government-owned refineries, which the government has announced that it has started operation. Now, how far is the operation? What's the quantum of product they're churning out? Are they effectively working up to par? Well, we do know that the Petroleum Industry Act of 2021 mandates that the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, the NMDPRA, withdraw import licenses when domestic supply suffices, as outlined in sections 317, subsection 79 and 709. However, the NPDRA continues to issue these licenses, citing the Dangote Refinery's current inability to meet national demand. This has led to legal challenges, with Dangote Refinery alleging that such actions contravene the PIA's stipulations. And furthermore, we saw in section 317, subsection 11, which enforces a sulfur content limit of 50 parts per million ppm for imported petrol to curb environmental pollution. Despite this, there is a notable absence of rigorous third-party evaluations by the NMPDRA to ensure compliance among Nigerian refineries, raising concerns about the quality of fuel in the domestic market. Compounding these issues is also the NPDRA's failure to settle bridging allowances owed to marketers. It's a situation inherited from the former Department of Petroleum Resources, the DPR. Well, the financial neglect disrupts the uniform pricing of petrol across Nigeria. It might sound so technical if you're an average person who has little interest. But if your interest is how much of the petrol you are able to buy from the filling station and the commodities that you consume. But do know that it all goes down to impact on the monies in your pocket, the food on your table, the economy generally. If you look at section 109 of the PIA, it advocates for Naira-based crude oil sales to bolster the local economy. But in all of this, how much of the law is being obeyed by the regulator who is supposed to uphold the law, supposed to be the face of the law, as enshrined in the law that was signed since 2021. Let's get a sense of all of these. We're monitoring, and of course, don't forget that these are some of the issues substantially that are supposed to be followed according to what the law says. I'm being joined tonight by Mr. Calvin Emmanuel, who is an economist and an energy expert. He's live for us here in our Abuja studio. Thank you so much indeed for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
First and foremost, no one cares who owns what. Either Dangote, which is a private sector. Good news for Nigeria, because it tells you how resilient the Nigerian private sector could be for an individual to say, I want to invest in that sector. It's a sector where Nigeria had 4 refineries. None of it could produce a product for 5 years or more. And we kept maintaining them and running them. Now, we now see 2 refineries owned by the government. They say is working. But in all of this, what is your assessment since Dangote Refinery kicked off production and started selling locally, and when the government also came on stream to say 2 of our refineries are likely or will be given product out? What has been your assessment so far?
So I thank you so much for having me. It's a privilege to be here. And happy belated New Year to you.
Yes, it is. Second month of the year.
Second month of the year. So I like data, because data is incontrovertible. You can't argue with data, especially when the other side cannot dispute data. Between October 1, 2024 and December 31, 2024, the players in the mid and downstream sector, along with NNPC, imported 3.8 billion liters of PMS into Nigeria.
October, last year.
Between October, that's the Q4 of 2024. Between October 1 and December 31.
That's 4 months ago.
4 months ago, they imported 3.8 billion liters of PMS. Refined PMS. Well, it's arguable because, there is proof. There is paper trail to show that about 35 or 40% of that product was actually routed through Malta, through blending. And show, as we speak today,
the PMS, controversial Malta.
Yes. PMS that is blended in Malta is still being imported into Nigeria, up to about 180,000 metric tons a month. The 3.8 billion liters that was imported within the intervening period is valued at, I'll say, about 3.6 trillion naira. So between January 1 and January 29, motor vehicle tanker report shows that 458 million liters of PMS was brought into Nigeria this past month.
Imported. Refined products. But
NNPC had 212 million liters of those cargoes. So the question I keep asking, considering that Technimont was the contractor to Port Harcourt Refining Company. Technimont submitted a bid proposal in October 2019 to be the contractor, EPC contractor, to do turnaround maintenance for the Port Harcourt Refinery. And the project award letter is valued at about $1.5 billion. So basically, they collect project award letter from FEC. They didn't have the cash. They pledged Nigeria's crude oil barrels through foreign sale agreements, collected cash up front, gave it to a contractor who did turnaround maintenance for a 60,000 barrel per day modular refinery that cannot directly process PMS. The question I keep asking is if you're really processing crude oil into PMS in Eleme and in Warri, why are you importing PMS into Nigeria? With crude oil that is supposed to be sold and sent back to CBN to meet up their balance of payment obligations and stabilize the macroeconomy.
Yeah, Mr. Emmanuel, give me a moment. We need to go on a short break. We'll be right back, everyone, on this very crucial matter.
Your journey to great rewards starts with the Save and Win Paddy Promo Season 4. Take the first step by opening a new account or growing your existing balance by 10,000 naira or more. Step 2. Perform at least 5 transactions monthly. Step 3. Stand a chance to win. From tricycles and motorcycles to cash prizes and a grand prize of 5 million naira. To open an account, download the Union mobile app or visit www.unionbankng.com. Terms and conditions apply. Union Bank, your simpler, smarter bank.
In turbulent times, resilience is the cornerstone of exceptional leadership. Join Texem's Resilience in a Volatile World, Inspiring Transformation Successfully program running from February 8 to 22, 2025. This transformative journey combines dynamic live Saturday virtual sessions with a gamified learning experience averaging 1 hour daily for just £1,300. That's 2.73 million naira early board discount. Gain invaluable insights from Ambassador Charles Crawford, a 2-time Oscar equivalent winner, Bradley Jones, Executive Director of the UAE UK Business Council, and Dr. T.B. McClend Jr., a visionary former U.S. Marine leader. Master strategic decision-making, build agility, and inspire trust. Register today at www.hexam.co.uk or email exec@hexam.co.uk or call +44 79 83 12 8450. Empower your leadership.
TechSem, insights that inspire actions that change the world.
So, there is a small problem. Despite all the entertaining ads we've created for you, some of you still haven't tried our services.
Come on. First of all, we are a licensed microfinance bank. Sorry about that. For instance, you can open a business account with us and get our POS with it. It's good for your business.
All the 99.99% reliable. I love it.
Our card is the wall.
And money not the hang.
You can open a business or personal account with us in minutes. Our customer care is available. Abby? So, when it comes to reliability, security, convenience, and speed, you only need one bank.
Join millions of happy customers. Download the MoneyPoint app or find an agent near you to get started.
This ad is the MoneyPoint ad. Don't forget that.
The Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria will be celebrating 40 years of its existence with a colloquium on Monday the 10th of February. Theme, Nigeria, the rebirth of a nation. Guest speakers are Professor Ehosa Osage, Director General, Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, Professor Yusuf Turaki, Professor of Theology and Social Ethics, Jets Joss, Mr. Johnson Abley, President of the Consortium and founder of Smarten House, Mr. Fela Durotoye, President of the Gemstone Nation Builders Foundation. This event is to be chaired by the President of the Fellowship, His Lordship, Bishop Francis Waleoke. Venue, Musa Yaradua Center, Abuja. Time, 11 a.m. Date, Monday the 10th of February. This event is strictly by invitation and all invited guests must be seated by 11 a.m. The colloquium will be broadcast live.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us right here on the program. Apologies for that. Mr. Kevin Emmanuel is still with us. I mean, I'm not surprised because one will imagine, excuse me, that it might not be a crime, is it, for us to import. But the quantum of the importation is what I'm surprised at, and the figures of the importation, when few months ago, we did not have any opportunity to refine locally. But when you're mentioning these figures, with the possible trail that this product actually came in millions of liters into the country is what is baffling. Is it a crime to import? Because it's a free market, isn't it?
So, you know, the example I like to give is with the pharmaceutical sector. The World Health Organization has what they call good manufacturing practice that says there is a minimum benchmark globally for pharmaceutical manufacturing. So it's like you saying that, okay, you have a GMP standard globally, and pharmaceutical products are so expensive in Nigeria, and NAFDAC and SON should allow companies to import substandard products that goes below GMP standards for WHO because the price is a little higher than the substandard products that are imported into Nigeria. It's unfair competition, and it violates the law. Sections 317, 7 to 9 is very clear of the PIA. So it means that NMDPRA, as a regulator of mid and downstream, is violating the law that has been set in the PIA and is producing a gazette on that whenever the domestic refiner shows the capacity to be able to refine, and Dangote, for example, right now is doing about 48 million liters of PMS. It's at 550,000 barrels per day capacity utilization. You're supposed to stop giving import, like NMPC claims also that they are refining. So, you know, the question I asked earlier is if you're actually refining for about $2.4 billion that has been expended in turnaround maintenance within the last 6 years by you selling Nigeria's crude oil in exchange for collecting cash up front to do turnaround maintenance, why are you importing 212 million liters of PMS?
Let's get it right. Before Dangote came on stream, before the Port Harcourt Refinery came on stream, what is the quantum of importation of refined product into Nigeria?
The government claims that they were importing about 2 billion liters every month.
Every month.
And consumption was actually about 60 or 70 million liters per month. But I'll tell you why those figures are...
You know the reason why I'm asking, just for a moment, How many billions of liters were we importing per month?
The government
before any of the refineries.
The government claims 2 billion liters a month.
2 billion liters. 2 billion liters.
Anywhere around.
But you said
Nigeria
that from October.
Yes.
From October.
Yes.
I mean, we're still coming to the transparency of those figures.
Yes.
Whether those figures have any integrity or not.
Yes.
Considering our local consumption, because the reality is that we do know that whatever comes into Nigeria is not only consumed by Nigerians. Most of it found their ways outside of Nigeria. But let's hold that figure. 2 billion liters before any of the refineries came on stream, isn't it?
Yes.
You said between October last year, which 4 months ago, and now, how many liters did you say Petrol show that has been imported into Nigeria?
Between October last year and now, Nigeria has gotten about 4 billion liters of PMS.
So an average of 1 billion liters
a month.
A month.
Yes.
Which is just a billion liters short of what we got before any of the refineries.
Exactly.
Now, so with Dangote and Port Harcourt Refinery, that at least in the last 3 months we know that both of those refineries are working and are churning out product, isn't it?
According to what they said, that Port Harcourt and Warri is working.
Yeah.
But it's disputable. And the reason it's disputable is because technically, the 46 kilometer trunk line that takes crude oil from Escravos through the Chernomi creeks to Warri Refining Petrochemical Company is out of service. It was vandalized. So how are you taking crude oil feedstock to the refinery?
A lot of the reporters who got on the ground who said they saw trucks.
So Warri does not have a catalytic reforming unit that can crack naphtha into higher distillates like premium motor spirits. And one of the proof, if you ask any technical person who is familiar with the refining business anywhere in the world, one of the proof that you're refining PMS is that you're recovering petroleum gases. You cannot refine PMS and not recover petroleum gases. So how are you claiming to be refining PMS and then NPC has not shown us the LPG that is being produced from the refinery?
So you are saying that the possibility of Warri refining any product is almost zero?
It's almost zero. 93,000 metric tons of products. 93,000 metric tons of products came through Warri within the last 4 months. 93,000 metric tons of products came through Warri within the last 4 months. Does it make sense?
So it doesn't make sense, or it doesn't look true that Warri Refinery is producing.
So LMA and Warri, I'll tell you what, $2.4 billion was designated. You basically pledged Nigeria's crude oil, or 7,000 barrels per day, in exchange for upfront cash. Because when the FEC award letter was awarded, it was given in 2020, the government NNPC didn't have money to prosecute turnaround maintenance, and they pledged it with creditors. Creditors gave them the cash, pledged Nigeria's crude oil through forward sale agreement, which is one of the reasons why you're not seeing a lot of FX come to CBN for balance of payment and stabilization of the macroeconomy. So if you look at all the forward sale agreements that have been structured between 2019 and 2025, you're talking of anywhere between $12 and $14 billion. As a matter of fact, there is currently one on the table called Project Leopard, right, of $2 billion NNPC says it wants to borrow. You have two syndicates already. One, a national oil company that recently acquired the assets of one of the upstream companies, IOCs, and then one Abu Dhabi National Oil Company. The only reason why that announcement has not been made is because one of the major international traders pulled out as a syndicate on that deal. So you have all this structure where NNPC basically places Nigeria's crude oil, collects cash, they go to do vendor financing program, they go to do turnaround maintenance, and they can't show results for it.
I mean, Mr. Emmanuel, you are an expert in this area. Are you alleging that there is fraud? Because although we know that companies like McKinsey were involved in all of these deals, and that whatever proceeds that come out of production is going to be used to pay back whatever money is being spent to fix these refineries. By the way, we understand that Warri Refinery is only about 75% ready, according to what NNPC is saying. And we do also hear that PMS may not be coming yet out of Warri, but diesel and naphtha and the rest and kerosene. Those are what we hear that is coming out of Warri Refinery. But what you are saying tonight is baffling and it's mind-boggling. That whatever we are being told is but a lie, isn't it? Is that what you're saying?
So I'll say it categorically, okay? that NNPC cannot go to an IPO without an external forensic audit, not by any company that it has contracted ever in its history. An external forensic auditor that has an international reputation to protect. It needs to audit its assets, its liabilities, it needs to check all the litigations and legal entanglements that it has. It needs to look at its books. Look at all the modified carrier agreements. Look at the activities of Nigerian Investment Upstream Management Services, that was former NAPIMS, that NETI is currently probing at National Assembly, and all the four modified carrier agreements it has upstream with joint venture partners, all the modified carrier agreement it has midstream with international traders. Last year, September, NNPC was owing $6.8 billion to international traders, who basically was doing crude oil swap for bringing PMS products into Nigeria. That has not been audited. So what I'm telling you today is that the 210,000 barrel capacity refinery in Port Harcourt, 60,000 for LMA, and the 110,000 barrel capacity, 125,000 in Warri, are not producing PMS. How do you spend $2.4 billion to do turnaround maintenance for an amount that can build a 60,000 brand new refinery, commercial refinery, outside of what they currently have, and you still are not able to produce PMS?
So is Warri and Port Harcourt, are they working from what you hear or no?
They are producing what modular refineries produce, which is AGO and naphtha. Naphtha is the base compound you use to crack into higher distillates
and blend.
And blend.
But blending is not a crime.
Blending is not a crime, but it doesn't meet up with the octane rating of PMS and the sulfur level. And this brings me back to the question about the sulfur level that is stated in sections 317.11 of the PIA. That in 2020, ECOWAS came together and set up a framework for sulfur level. Sulfur level tells you about the ash content, of 50 parts per million. NMDPR advised that they are putting an allowable limit of 200 parts per million, but that it will expire on the 31st of December 2024. That has expired. They reverted back to 50. I am saying, Shehu, that the test results for the products they bring into Nigeria that tells you about the sulfur level of the petrol brought into Nigeria is questionable. And that if the regulator, NMDPRA, organizes a third-party Robin Roundtable for forensic audit, they will find that the product Nigeria has been consuming is not less than 1,000 or 800 ppm.
So, are you talking about the product that has been blended in Warri or Port Harcourt is not safe for consumption?
Last year, when Dangote
is that what you're saying?
Last year, when Dangote started, Farouk Ahmed is on record to be accusing the Dangote refinery of producing substandard products. But when LMA started, he refused to do a test. He didn't make the same statement. As we speak, Shehu, they've not been to the refinery. Mr. President has not been to the refinery. Dangote is the biggest industrialist in Africa. He's built a refinery that is doing 48 million liters of PMS today. It has 177 tanks, and it has 4 billion liters of multi-product storage. This month, he's having to import 12 million barrels of crude oil from outside Nigeria, mostly from the US. Does it make sense that you have a country that is a major producer, a member of OPEC, and you're importing crude oil from Iraq, from America, from Angola, from Libya, from different parts of the world? Does it make sense? In violation of sections 109 of the PIA that talks about domestic production curtailment and domestic crude supply obligation. It's the law. Does it make sense?
So I ask a direct question, and it's for the interest of the Nigerian people. Whatever the politics that is going on in the energy sector, which is sickening, which for me is annoying when some of these things are not straightforward. But what worries me, one, pricing, secondly, is the safety of the product that is being churned out. Either the ones being imported or the product that is coming from Warri or Port Harcourt, are they safe for consumption?
The only product in Nigeria that I can categorically say meets up with global testing standards. And this is because the Dangote is exporting aviation fuel to the UK. The UK has some of the highest American Society of Testing Materials standards for testing gasoline product, white transportation fuels. Yeah, it has some of the highest standards in the world. One of the proof that you're producing products that are globally recognized and safe according to the law internationally is that you're exporting to these developed markets. So the question is, if Warri is producing products that are certifiable by the provisions of the PI, why are they not exporting to other parts of the world?
So you've made some very, very far-reaching and very controversial statements. You are saying Nigeria is bringing into, we're getting product up to the tune of about 4 billion barrels in just about 4 months, an average of 1 billion barrels per month.
Yes.
And this is not making sense. The numbers are not making sense considering
that Dangote has 600 million liters of product storage for PMS.
If Port Harcourt are being said to be producing and Dangote is producing optimally,
yes,
right?
Yes.
We shouldn't be importing those products.
Exactly.
That means there are private interests. That's the reason for those importations. Is that what it means?
So,
or the NNPC is not telling us the truth.
So,
is that what it means?
The tank farm business of importing low quality products that are cured in Malta, and then products that are imported by other international traders. Some of them are moderate quality but doesn't really meet up with the specification into Nigeria and quoting premium landing price in the market is a very profitable business. The business of landing it at tank farms in Apapa and putting it at those bulk tank farms at a throughput cost of about $2.09 per liter per metric ton is a very profitable business. This cartel doesn't want to stop. What the regulator and the government should be sitting down with all stakeholders is telling them that the time is up for us to be spending our precious FX either through crude oil swaps or through actual FX to import these products, because we now have domestic refining capacity, and transit the owners of those tank farms into like the value chain in the market, distribution for the local markets. NNPC has 22 depots. When the Petroleum Equalization Fund was created by Decree 9 in 1975, it says that they were going to create like a system for equalization of petroleum prices around Nigeria. When it was amended by Act Decree 32 in 1989, it says that cost to be built into the consumer, and the monies gotten from the consumers will now be used as bridging allowances to the marketers for distances above 450 kilometers. Yeah, those depots are not currently in operation, and you have a system where companies take products through trucks from the gantries at the refinery, they take products through vessels to tank farms and they stop. And you don't have uniform pricing of petroleum products around Nigeria.
Let me ask you, those products that are being produced, brought into the country, I imagine that they will be more expensive than the products that are being refined locally.
The reason why they are not more expensive is because the quality of the products does not meet up with the convention that was set up by ECOWAS at their 2020 convention.
Who are these marketers bringing these products into the country? Are they local marketers, foreign marketers?
They are the usual suspect. If you look at the motor vehicle tanker report, you see the names of the marketers who bring in products into NNPC.
And enabled by NNPC?
NNPC also lands products. I just told you that this month of January, NNPC imported 212 million liters of PMS. It's in the motor vehicle tanker report. Those manifests don't lie.
Something is happening in this country. I'm sick about some of these things. But thank you, Kelvin, for coming into the program tonight. And I'm hoping that the presidency is hearing this. The National Assembly, who is supposed to play a role in superintending or looking into whatever that is going on, they are there also. And the Nigerian people are watching. This is going to have a dire effect on the Nigerian society. Some group of cabals cannot be holding and strangulating the Nigerian people and holding them by the jugular. This useless rubbish should stop. Thank you, Calvin, for coming tonight.
Thanks for having me.